So 5-1 quiz, here's what the answer should have been, and then I'll describe the next quiz and a little bit about what's going on to do the homework. 1 should have been Birkhoff, B-I-R-K-H-O-F-F. We had a low rate of success of correct spelling on that one. A couple people had it, but most of the time that was a little rough to spell, but B-I-R-K-H-O-F-F was 1. 2, what I was looking to as it pertained to geometry is he improved the postulates. The set of postulates you've learned are his, so postulates was what that was about. It did say some other things about him, but that didn't have to do with geometry. Like he wrote 190 books, and there was some other stuff on there, but that had nothing to do with geometry, that just had to do with his life. But what I was looking for on 2 was something about the postulates. 3 is congruent, and that question tomorrow will go in reverse. We'll talk about tomorrow's question in a moment. 4, the full answer was one-to-one correspondence. One-to-one correspondence is the full word there. Correspondence is C-O-R-R-E-S-P-O-N-D-E-N-C-E. 5 was the word identity, I-D-E-N-T-I-T-Y. It's a lot like reflexive for what we're doing in this chapter. So if you have something that corresponds to itself, that's called the identity, I-D-E-N-T-I-T-Y. Question about 1 to 5, what should have happened? So next quiz up is 5-2. 5-2 is going to have 7 new points from reading that are either short answer or fill in the blank stuff. There's nothing like long for you to write. One of the questions is old already. It's a question you're writing right now as you finish the test. It was on that. Then the new question changeovers. Birkhoff's going to be gone. He'll be back till the test. Okay, but number 3 is going to go backward. I'll ask you what makes any 2 geometric figures be congruent, and you'll say that they're exactly the same size and shape. They're exactly the same size and shape. In non-geometry terms, not a quiz answer, but it's like identical plates. Or clones. 2 exact copies. Exact same size and shape, makes things be congruent. 4 just stays the same. What was the answer you were filling in on 4? One-to-one correspondence. 5 stays the same. The fill in there was identity. And then there's going to be 2 more questions that I'll describe once we do this on the board. So let me do this on the board, and then we'll go from there. These 2 triangles are congruent. They're the exact same size and shape. If we did want to show that, if they were handleable figures, I could pick this one up, spin it around, and set it exactly on top of the other one. What would A sit on top of if I did the spin around and I put them on top of each other? What would the A end up sitting on top of? A would end up sitting on top of F. Who would B sit on top of? E. And by elimination or by seeing it, C would have to sit on D. That's what the one-to-one correspondence idea was about. We're going to just match them up with their partnering friends. You could do that since there were 3 letters with 3 arrows, but that's kind of a drag, so we tend not to do it that way. Question about that? What they're going to tend to do is lump this up, but with a single arrow. Go ABC, and then do an arrow, and I would have to do FED. Why do I have to do FED? That's the order of the other one. A needs to be partnered with F and both be the first letter because they were together from the picture. B and E both have to be in the middle because they were together from the picture. C and D have to be together because they were together from the picture. Is this the only way we could write that in triple form like that? No. Instead of ABC, I could have done, give me another scrambled version. CBA. So if I did CBA, to preserve the relationship, we have to do a scramble over here as well. We'd have to go D, E, F. Here, C matched D because they were last. Here, C matches D because they're first. Give me another re-scrambling. BAC. If we go BAC, EFD is correct. Give me another scrambling. CAB is new. If we go CAB,
DFE.
DFE is true. There's another one that starts with B. A new one that starts with B. BCA is true. BCA's partner. EDF. Here's one more that starts with A. ACB is new. If we do ACB, FDE. So if they drew you this picture, any of these 7 things would be a right answer. This, or that. I'm going to just tell you right now, never pick this way to do it. That's longer. It's harder. I don't want to grade that. You don't want to do that. Don't do it. Stick to the ones that are like the triples or the quadruples. And I'm going to say this one is my favorite, and I'm going to prefer you do this. I'm not going to say this is a deal breaker when I grade it, but I'm going to say to keep our life simple, it would be a lot easier if we all had the same answer. I think you'd agree with that. Okay, it's going to be sort of a drag if we try to talk about these, and there's 6 answers possible. So I'm going to say to you this. Just use the alphabet in alphabetical order. Okay, look at the picture and look for the earlier letters. The earlier letters are these. A is the champ of all. Put the first one in alphabetical order, A, B, C. If you put the first one in alphabetical order, doing the beginning of the alphabet, then the other ones will just naturally fall in line. So if you can do A, B, C, then do something with A, B, C. So if I work over here to this picture, I prefer that you start by using G, and then so if I'm going to write correspondences over here, I'm going to prefer that we do GHI with somebody, because that's going to just be a little helpful when we go to grade this. When you take the quiz tomorrow, I said there were 2 questions that were like about what we were going to do. So there's one question where I'll give you this in the long way with the 3 arrows, and I'm expecting you to like put it together with a single arrow move. There's another one where I've already put it together with a single arrow move, and then I'm expecting you to scramble it. I don't want you to tear it back apart to have a million arrows. What I'm looking to do is give you one that's somehow done, and then you scramble it into a matching friend. And you'd have like a million choices to choose from. The easiest way to scramble it is probably just to write them off both. I think it was the thing that you did first.
What was the question?
I wrote you one. What was the easiest way to make a scrambled version of this? And it's what you chose to do for the first one right out of the gate.
Do it backwards.
Just write them backwards. It's probably the easiest thing to do. Another easy thing to do would just be to take the first letter and shove it to the end on both of them. Something like that. Question about tomorrow quiz? Okay, homework tonight into tomorrow's 126, 1 to 8. This was an easier version of what you're doing in the homework, and some of them are easy. This is going to be like a medium one. This is another easy one, so let's do the other easy one first. So if I want to go off of this picture, which letter would I choose first? M. I don't have to. I'm just asking you to. It'll make our life simpler if we do the first sequence, they go M, N, O, P, Q. Go as early in the alphabet as you can, and just keep them in alphabetical order. And then buddy them up. Who would M land on if I like swivel this all around? Where does M go?
B.
To V. Because they're both out there, like there's this diagonal thing, the M is out on the edge of a diagonal thing, here's this diagonal thing, the V is out there on that edge. Who would N be a match up for?
U.
U. So we started off with M and N on that short little piece, we'll get U and V on the other short little piece. O goes with T, because they're both kind of toward like the middle of the picture. Then we're looking for a match for the P. P goes with S. Because P was part of the straight up and down thing, we've got to be looking on the straight up and down thing. And then we ran out of letters. Q must go with R. There's no way around that. Question about that? Okay, so here's a medium one. GHI. Who could GHI go with? Assuming that I could draw, which these are actually not quite the same size, so let me reconsider slightly. Still not quite the same size, but close enough. You know what I'm after here. So, if we do this, who could G go with?
J.
J. Who could H go with?
K.
It could. And then I must go with L. That's an answer. That is not the only answer for GHI. Why isn't that the only answer for GHI this time?
The bottom two letters like can flip.
Yeah, those bottom two are like reversible. I could pick this up and put it on as it sits. I could also pick it up, do a little spinneroonie, and put it down, in which case G goes with
J.
J, H goes with
L.
L possibly, and I goes with
K.
K. That's also true. There's another way we could do GHI on top of something. So we could do GHI on this. We could do GHI with a twist on that. There's another thing we could do with GHI. Pick it up. Give it a twist. Where could I put it? Right back where I came from. I could do GHI with,
GHI.
not if I did a twist,
G.
GIH. What they will not want is this one. That one had a name. GHI with GHI, what was the name of that from the quiz? Identity. They'll say something like, other than the identity, do everything you can do. There's one more. Okay, so we can do this on that. We can do this on that, but with a twist. We can do this with a twist in itself. What's one? Excuse me. One more tricky one we can do.
What's that one?
Yeah, we could do JKL, but do a twist in itself. So if I do this one, twisted and return, JLK. So if they give you something that's not able to be twisty-turny, just write one of the relationships and move on with your life. This only had one way we could write the relationships, so we move on with our life. But there are some in the homework where you can twist them and return them on themselves, and they are expecting you to notice that. I won't say there's any hard ones. I said this was easy, I said this was easy, I said this is medium. There's nothing I'd score hard. Like if something were going to score hard, it would be the fact that sometimes you have shapes that could go a couple ways, and they'll want you to do it a couple ways with a little bit of twisty turny. Question about the concept? Okay, so again, 5-2 is a read, 7 new points. The questions today, 3 is backwards. What was the definition for congruent? What did congruent mean?
Same measures.
One more word.
Exactly.
Exactly the same size and shape. Filling in the blank with one-to-one correspondence, filling in the blank with identity. Me giving you a triple arrow and wanting a single arrow. Me giving you a single arrow matchup and expecting you to scramble it somehow. So 12 total points, 126 has a 1 to 8. We'll stop this, we'll go time in to finish the test and see how time goes.